The 2024 WVU football recruiting class has received 2 verbal commitments in the past 2 days that should help boost the trenches on both sides of the football for the Mountaineers. Let's go! What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Jordan Cruz back here with the Country Roads webcast. And before I get into this video, just want to give you guys a quick reminder, if you would, do us a favor, give us a thumbs up on this video. Hitting that like button will really help this video's performance and future videos performances here on the channel. And if you're a West Virginia fan or a college football fan in general, be sure hit that subscribe button. It's fast, easy, and free to do, and it helps us and it helps you as it helps get more of this Mountaineer sports content out to Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, let's get into it. All right, as I mentioned in the cold opening to the video, West Virginia has received 2 verbal commitments over the past 2 days, and we'll go through these in sequential order, beginning with the first one. And this one should certainly excite Mountaineer Nation, as this is the first 4-star commit of the 2024 WVU football recruiting class. And like I said in the previous commitment video, when we were talking about the commitment of tight end Jack Samarco, I thought the ball was really about to get rolling on this 2024 class. I think the most recent days with back-to-back commitments, and one of them, of course, being a 4-star, shows you that that indeed is probably the case for the Mountaineers. But that 4-star commit is Obina Onwuka, and he is believed to be a great pass rusher that will really contribute in the future of West Virginia football, coming off the edge there at the defensive end position, or maybe even the bandit. We'll see how it works out. Been used more as a traditional defensive end, hand in the ground type during his high school days, so probably a defensive end, but West Virginia will need bodies there coming up in the near future, and he's certainly a guy that's going to factor in probably early on in his career, but I think definitely will be a contributor throughout his time at West Virginia, as he seems to be a great pass rusher coming in, as you see detailed in this article by Mike Ostie over on WVSportsNow.com, the 2024 4-star defensive end now locked in with West Virginia is what he put on his Twitter. As you see here, his tweet, which he stated, "Almost heaven, we locked in," with the mountain emoji there. And if you want to follow him on Twitter, you can see his Twitter handle here at Famous Bina, and that's 2 S's in famous, and then of course Bina is Binna, so that's Famous SBINNA. If you want to follow him on Twitter there, Mountaineer Nation. But you see his graphic and tweet there. He puts in, locked in with the Mountaineers, of course. And this was kind of almost expected after his official visit with West Virginia. He kind of set a commitment date, and we hoped that that was because he really enjoyed his visit so much. He kind of canceled everything else, moved up his commitment date, and I thought that boded well for West Virginia. And it turns out that that was indeed the case, as he lands here in Morgantown, becoming the first 4-star addition for the 2024 recruiting class. A recruit coming from the state of Maryland, picking West Virginia over Boston College, Maryland, Memphis, USC, Virginia Tech, Penn State, among others, as you see detailed in this article. A top 15 player in the state of Maryland, number 12 here according to the rankings there on 247 Sports, which also ranks him as one of the top 30 edge rushers in the entire country. So huge pickup for the West Virginia Mountaineers here, coming in as a defensive end that can really make an impact as a pass rusher for the Mountaineers is Obina Onwuka, but he was just the first commit West Virginia would add. As I said, 2 commits in 2 days. So let's take a look at the second one here that came in to hopefully bolster the other side of the trenches. We got Onwuka here on the defensive side, but the other side of the trenches, of course, needs some help for the future. West Virginia secured a verbal commit that should potentially help boost that side of the trenches as well. Take a look here at what West Virginia just recently picked up on the day that I'm recording this video. All right, as you can see, also detailed over on WVSportsNow.com, this one by Logan Carney. West Virginia picking up a commit from a 3-star offensive lineman that was very highly regarded in Kyle Altuner, a 3-star lineman who will be coming, coincidentally enough, also from the state of Maryland. So both of these commits coming in 2 days for the Mountaineers, also both coming from the state of Maryland, coincidentally enough. But Kyle Altuner, great size, going to be coming in as a true freshman already. 6'3", 285 pounds is what he's listed at. And there is his tweet that he shared on Twitter as well. If you want to follow him, Mountaineer Nation, His Twitter handle was just his name, all in one word there, at Kyle Altuner. As you see there on the screen when he tweeted out, 100% committed, with his graphic there tagging WVU football, Neil Brown, and Coach Matt Moore in that tweet there. Altuner's a consensus 3-star, receiving that rating from the 4 major outlets, of course, that you will see reporting on these recruits, those being ESPN, Rivals, 247 Sports, and On3. And although he may just be a 3-star recruit, you can see also there that he is a top 25 recruit in the state of Maryland by virtually all of these recruiting services, with some, that being ESPN, regarding him as high as the 12th highest recruit there in the state of Maryland. So West Virginia, yet again, landing another big fish, if you would, despite the fact that this is a 3-star versus the 4-star of the aforementioned Onwuka. I think that Kyle Altuner is a great get for West Virginia, was higher on the recruiting board, specifically among the offensive linemen. So great to see West Virginia bring him in here, a top 100 interior offensive lineman in the 2024 recruiting class. So top 25 player in the state of Maryland, top 100 offensive lineman there in the interior. Can't ask for more than that if you're West Virginia, especially when you look at the fact that he picked West Virginia over some very impressive other programs. As you see, a very large offer list, offers from over 19 other programs, those of which included Boston College, Cincinnati, UConn, Florida State, Liberty, Louisville, Maryland, Miami, Michigan State, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, Penn State, ESP, Tennessee, and Toledo. So there you go, very highly regarded commit to add to the 2024 West Virginia recruiting class, which, like I said, we were hoping to see the ball get rolling on. Now we've got 2 commits in 2 days to put the total up to 5 thus far for the 2024 recruiting class, which may sound light, but you got to remember West Virginia and many other programs across college football now in the transfer portal era, of course, are only going to bring in, 15 to 19 at most, probably high school recruits. So West Virginia well on their way with this recruiting class, and it's looking pretty good. Let's take a look at this recruiting class as we continue to try and keep up with the verbal commitments here with our commitment list, now that we can add these 2 players to it here on the Country Roads webcast. All right, so as I've shared in previous commitment videos, we will continue to try and update this commitment list as commits come in for the Mountaineers. And now we have, of course, 2 more here to add, those being the additions of Obina Onwuka and Kyle Altuner coming to the Mountaineers. Obina Onwuka, of course, the one that I'm listing here, coming to be the first 4-star commit of the 2024 class thus far for West Virginia. So a very big get, but Kyle Altuner as well should not go unmentioned that he is also a very good get for the Mountaineers, despite the fact that he is a 3-star by most services, a really highly regarded interior offensive lineman. And, building that offensive line is something that this Neil Brown regime has tried to do since they came in originally back in 2019. They decided to play some young offensive linemen and try and build that unit. That's worked out well with some of the pieces that we now have, especially the in-state natives, Wyatt Milam, Zach Frazier, Doug Nestor. But all of that offensive line now appears to be a strength for the Mountaineers this upcoming season with the buy-in that they put in. So they're continuing to try and do that and add some high school recruits that they can develop and continue to build that offensive line to the point where hopefully they're doing a little bit of a plug and play. And we've seen them be able to do that the past couple of seasons a little bit. James Gamitter 2 years ago coming in, and then Thomas Remick last year as well, filling in for James Gamitter when he decided to retire, becoming the 3rd straight freshman All-American for West Virginia on that offensive line to join Wyatt Milam and Zach Frazier in the past couple of years that had done that before him. But Kyle Altuner, a nice addition for the West Virginia offensive line as they continue to try and build that unit and hopefully continue to improve it throughout their time here in Morgantown. And like I said, we're hoping to see what we believe can and will be the best incarnation of that unit we've seen yet under the Neil Brown regime. But hopefully in the future, Kyle Altuner adds to what continues to be an improved offensive line at West Virginia, as we see 2 recruits in back-to-back days coming to West Virginia, both from the state of Maryland, coincidentally enough, bolstering both the defensive line and the offensive line on this 2024 recruiting class, which now sees 5 commits, as you see them listed here: Wink James, Keyshawn Robinson, Jack Samarco, and of course the 2 subjects of this video, Obina Onwuka on the defensive line and Kyle Altuner on the offensive line. So there you have it, Mountaineer Nation. Two more additions to the 2024 West Virginia recruiting class, which looks like it's really shaping up to be a good one, and we really have some big names on the horizon that West Virginia could potentially add to that class. I'm thinking of Samaj Jones, among other great names that are still targets for West Virginia. But let us know what you think of the addition of Onwuka and Altuner, as well as the whole 2024 West Virginia football recruiting class as it stands currently and as it's shaping up here in the future. Be sure to let us know your thoughts down there in the comments. We really appreciate those interactions as we continue to try and grow the Country Roads webcast community throughout Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go, Mountaineers.